so often for really taking that first little, nudge in the right direction. And it doesn't really matter. I always say this, it doesn't matter if you're moving, 5 inches or 5,000 miles. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Don't know when you're listening to this, so it might not even be Wednesday when you are, but I hope you're having a great day no matter what day it is and what you're doing. And this is actually the first episode I have recorded by myself in probably a month, because I did the last episode about dating and relationships with my best friend, and then I did a replay episode because I was traveling for my birthday. And so this is the first actual episode I've recorded in a little bit. But anyways, I have missed doing this, and I'm really excited to record an episode today. So I just came back from my birthday vacation. It was so much fun. I got to see so many of my friends that I have not seen in so long. And so for those of you who don't know, I moved to Pennsylvania probably almost 11 months ago, I think, officially. And I did go back quite a bit last year. So once quarantine kind of happened and no one could travel, I really haven't been home in so long. And so, I guess home would be technically here, but it's still kind of there too. So I just haven't been back to see my dad or see my friends or anything like that at all. So it definitely was so great to go back and see everybody and spend some time. And it was just so much fun. But coming back to reality, it was a long weekend. So I had Monday off, as everyone else did, and coming back to a ton of emails, a ton of work, but it was so worth it because I just got to unplug a little bit. And I think that's like super weird for me because with coaching and with my job, it's not a job you really unplug from on social media, I guess, because yes, I schedule things and my boot camps kind of run themselves, and I do pop in there and, give encouragement, and I do one-on-one check-ins every single week, but the social media aspect is all me, right? So like all the advertising and marketing and everything that I do for coaching it falls onto me. And I think I don't always realize the toll that takes on me mentally until I take a break. So I went down to my grandparents probably a month and a half ago, and I was like, I just want to be really present. I just want to be, off my phone, off Instagram, and off of stories, and feeling like I have to document every single thing I'm doing. It kind of just got to a point where I didn't want to. It didn't get to this point, but it has in the past, because I've been doing this for almost 3 years or more. And it has gotten to a point where it was like, I felt like I had to prove, what I was doing. Not like that was a mental thought I had, like, oh, I have to post this to prove this, but it became, do you know if that makes sense? It kind of became something where it felt like I was doing it. And even if I wasn't realizing it, I felt like I had to post everything all the time. Like I didn't have a personal life. It felt like, I mean, obviously there's things you don't post about, but you know what I mean? It was like, oh, I'm working out, it has to be posted, or I'm eating healthy, it has to be posted, or I'm doing this and going out, it has to be posted. And it was like, can't you just be in the moment for a minute? And I think that that's one of the only downfalls really of what I do is like it becomes to where it overlaps between personal life and social media being fun and whatever into, I feel like I have to post every single day or my business is not going to grow and no one's going to know what I'm doing. And then what if they don't believe that I'm really living like this healthy lifestyle? And it just becomes this whole thing in my brain. And it might not make sense to anyone else, but to me, it makes sense. And so I like to take time every so often to really unplug and get clear on myself that, okay, I have a life outside of what I'm posting on Instagram. And what's so crazy to me is I have these thoughts because Instagram is how I make money. Instagram is how I get paid. Instagram is how I grow my business. But there's people that use Instagram. I mean, maybe even you listening to this, it's like you have a 9-to-5 job. You don't do anything else, not like in a rude way. Like you go to work and that's how you get your income. Instagram and social media does not affect your business or your life in any sort of way besides how many likes you get. And I just find it really interesting because I used to be that way before I started my business. And so when I look back at that, it's kind of like, wow, we all in our generation and in this time period, we just get so much, we put so much pressure on ourselves to be on Instagram, be on social media, share everything, post everything. And so now at least I feel like I have a purpose behind it. I'm like, okay, I share my day to day because it's really how I show the lifestyle I live, which appeals to other people and helps people say, oh, I really like how Elena, makes being healthy work for her. Or I really like how Elena has these really short workouts. Or I really like how she has these really simple meal plans. I love, she's always talking about this group she's a part of online that helps her, stay motivated. I really like that. So the stuff I share is growing my brand. But it's crazy to me to think, there was a time when I didn't even have a brand or I didn't even have a business. It was just using social media for my own, to feel important or to feel liked or to feel worth it. And it was like, let me post a picture of me and see how many likes I get, or let me post this picture. And, that was how it was back before I started my business. And so now, being somebody that works with social media every single day to grow my income and my brand, it's so crazy just to compare that. So I don't know, I guess this was off topic, but I just would encourage you to be present in your life and take some time maybe off social media. If you're on vacation or if you're doing something with your family, and really like iron out, okay, social media is just social media. Like nothing is going to, change about me or become more or less worthy of me dependent on likes or what I share, what I post. And just because I go do something and don't post it doesn't mean it's not important, doesn't mean it didn't happen. And so I like to keep myself, kind of in line with those thoughts, because that's not how I used to be. And so now that I am that way of, I know that my worth doesn't come from social media. Like I totally get that. My income might grow or not based off of what I share and how I work my social media, but my worth as a person absolutely does not. So it's just really important to me to have some time, like every few months or every month, maybe just to take a weekend or take a few days off of social media, just be present, do things, and not feel like, oh, I have to post this, I have to share this. You can come back and share it, but just really taking some time. And I think like that's one of the only downfalls about my job is feeling like I want to post this, I want to share this, and what if this would help, and da da da. It's like you can never turn it off, So I just try to keep myself in line with that. Anyway, so it was really nice to come back and feel refreshed and ready to just jump back in. And I'm doing a 3-day cleanse right now. I'm thinking about leading a group with this 3-day cleanse if it helps me, because I eat healthy. I really do. And even when I have extra treats and stuff, the basis of my diet is, I make good decisions for my body and for how I want to feel. So even when I have more treats, it's not like I go off the deep end or anything like that. And I do allow myself to have treats. So like all the time, not to where I'm eating a cookie every single day, but just where I have, it's 80% healthy and 20% fun. And that's how I live my life. And I live in balance. And that's how I've been able to stay, on my health and fitness journey for so long, and to really feel confident in myself is because of that. But it was my birthday and I did have a few extra treats and a lot of extra drinks like White Claws, and we were on the lake and it was just like a whole thing. So I came back and I was like, oh my gosh, I just need to reboot. I need to reset. And it was just that time of the month also. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so bloated. I just feel so like, ugh. So I'm doing this 3-day cleanse right now. I'm really liking it. I've been a little bit hungry just because the calories are way lower than what I usually eat, but it's just because it's kind of a reset for your body. So it's not like I'm starving. I'm getting supplements and things to help my body digest everything that's kind of maybe not been digested completely, and just really reset. You're not supposed to have coffee. And I was like, that's the funniest thing, because it's not happening. So I definitely have still been doing that. So that's really the only thing I've broken. I had some coffee creamer, like a healthy creamer, so it doesn't really count, but I did that. But other than that, I've really stuck with it. I had a few extra vegetables yesterday. Like that's ridiculous. I'm not even going to think about that as something being wrong. But I've really been liking it so far. I'm really excited for my results and just for how I'm going to feel, because it's just going to feel so much better to feel, lighter and, less sleepy and groggy and just gross from all the carbs and everything I ate. So that's what I'm doing right now, and just getting back in the swing of work and everything. And so this kind of leads me to another topic. So a lot of you, if you follow me over on Instagram, I've been talking a lot about the stock market and how I've been starting to get involved with that since COVID and all of that. And so during the beginning of coronavirus, I started seeing more and more people talk about the stock market on social media. And I just kind of got interested, and I was like, that sounds so confusing. I could never, ever learn that. But I was like, how cool would it be if I really tried to use this time to just grow in something, like I already know so much about work. I already know so much about my business, and I was growing that, and I always am. But I was like, what if I really learned something exciting and something that I could, be a student with and, really just dig into. And I was like, you know what? screw it, I'm doing it. So I ended up buying, after much delay, I ended up buying an online course that teaches you the beginnings of the stock market, how to invest, how to do everything. And I just kind of started completing this course in my free time. And it was so fun to feel excited about something new. I remember when I started my business that I have now, and it was just so exciting to kind of feel this, oh my gosh, I'm excited to learn this today, and da-da-da. And so it was exciting to kind of feel that again. And I just did the online course, super simple, super straightforward, but I was so nervous to actually start. And that's the best way that you can learn, right? It's actually just go for it. And so I ended up creating my Robinhood account, and I had the account, and it gives you a free stock when you create it. I'm going to actually list the link to this in my Instagram so that you can create your Robinhood account, and you can also purchase, if you wanted to look at what course I did, you can look at those too. I'll put those in my Instagram bio. But anyway, so I was really excited to dive in, but you get a free stock when you create your Robinhood account. So I just kind of like stared at that and figured out how to work that one first. But the resources that I got with my course were super helpful. And so I really felt ready. And so I started really small. I started with just like a couple $100s. And started investing it and researching the stocks and using what was in the course to really understand what I was doing. And I just felt like I really got a pretty good grasp on it. And I just kept doing it and doing it. And so now I have a lot more money in the stock market. It's been such a short time, but I've experienced a lot of growth, which has been really, really exciting because we're so used to trading, time for money, and not really with my business, because I love coaching because I'm able to make an income. Even if I don't work for the weekend, I'll come back and I'll have a paycheck. And granted, a lot of work goes into the back end of that. And so it does take work. It does definitely take work. Anything you do takes work, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm putting in 1 hour and I'm going to get this much money for this hour. And I just don't like that. So the stock market was another really cool way that I could take the money I was making already, put it into something that can grow for me. Granted, you can have losses also. So I'm not a financial, I'm not giving you any tip or whatever right now. I'm just saying you can have losses, but you can have a lot of growth. And I think that that's what's really exciting about learning that for me and setting myself up, because in the future, if you have a savings account, you're only getting like 2 cents back for every thousands and thousands of dollars that you save. And so when you're investing, you have so much more room for growth. And there's just so much to learn. And I was just really, really interested in doing it. And so I'm really proud of myself for taking that leap. And whether you are interested in learning the stock market, like I said, I will be sharing those resources with you, whether you're interested in doing that or whether there's something else you're wanting to start, maybe your own business, or maybe you want to talk to me about what I do, or maybe you want us to start, a workout program, or maybe you want to do anything in your life. You want to go to a new place. You want to do anything. Maybe you're just holding yourself back and you're just like, oh, when the time's right, I'm going to do it. When the time's right, I'm going to do it. And you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I think so often we do that, and we hold ourselves back so often for really taking that first little, nudge in the right direction. And it doesn't really matter. I always say this. It doesn't matter if you're moving, 5 inches or 5,000 miles in the right direction in a day. All that matters is forward is one direction. Forward is forward. And I think it's so important to take that step. Yes, you want to think things through, and yes, you want to learn. So with me with the stock market, I knew that was something that I wanted to do, right? But I kept putting off ordering this course. I kept putting it off and putting it off. And I finally got to a point where I was like, no one's going to show up, and no one's going to show up and do this for you. No one's going to show up and buy this course for you and sit you down and help you do it. No, you have to take responsibility for yourself. And I think that's another thing, is so often we put pressure on, the right time and the right, for the right income to come in before we do this and whatever. And yes, it's important because you want to, have a plan. But by me buying that course, that was my plan, right? And so I bought the course, and it gave me the information I needed to get started. And so it's one thing to buy the course, but getting started was a whole other thing. And so I had to be responsible for myself and take those things and put them into action. Because if you're soaking up all this information, but you're not actually going to do anything with it, what good is that going to do? Just so random things? I mean, great. That's great to know, but you need to take action. So you need to take that first step to learn and get more knowledge, get informed about what it is you want to do, and then take that next step of actually moving forward in the right direction, actually doing that thing. And so that's just what I want to encourage you to do today. And I don't know, like I said, what this means for you in your life, but I just knew that I needed that message. And I had to give it to myself of just, you have to go for it. You have to begin, and you have to do it today and stop putting it off, and you have to have a plan. And I think if you needed this message, I hope that you will just have some confidence in yourself and take a step in the right direction to not only get informed about whatever it is and be able to plan and make sure it's mapped out. You don't want to jump into anything and then be like, oh my gosh, I wasn't ready. Granted, that's probably not a good example. You don't want to rush into anything and then be like, oh, I wish I had planned this better, right? So whatever it is, get informed. Like, I want to do the stock market. I researched people that were really successful. I saw that this person offered this online, little seminars and whatever. I signed up, I did it, and then I put it into action. So get informed, whatever it is. If there's someone with a business you're really interested in, reach out and ask them. And if there is a workout program you're wanting to start, reach out to someone that can help you, and then actually purchase it and go for it and do it. And I think that, just taking steps in the right direction, we overcomplicate so much in our head, and we wait and we wait and we wait. And if I had started sooner, I may have even more money by now. I may have, more success by now. It doesn't really matter. We just have to begin. And so I hope that you will do that. Please feel free to message me if you have specific questions about anything I talked about today. I'm happy to chat with you. I'm happy to give you any information. But yeah, I definitely recommend whatever that goal is, whatever that thing is you're wanting to do, just go for it now. And also recommend getting involved in looking at investing, because I have really, really enjoyed it so far. And granted, I have had losses. It's not like it's all been perfect, but it's a learning experience. And that's what I love most about it, is it's just this new thing I'm doing and I'm trying to figure out, and it's taking me closer to where I want to go, whether it is 5 cents or $500 or whatever. It's the same in any goal, whether it is 5 inches or 500 miles, you are moving in the right direction. So I hope you'll have a great day. Please feel free to reach out, and I will talk with you later.